like to thank Craig, Jared, and T. Maxey for both sending me this story. And yes, it's enough to make the blood boil. This came out in the Washington Post, and many of you will remember this person right here. August 28th, 2018. She fatally shot an unarmed Black man. And you get rewarded for that in this country. And she sure did. Now she's teaching other police officers how to survive such incidents. First of all, her ass was not even in trouble. Okay. She wasn't even in trouble. And her account of the incident was just straight up lies. She said he tried to reach in for a gun and the damn windows were up, if you remember this. And he was not even close to her. She pulled the trigger and then yelled, "Shots fired!" Oh my God, this cornball. Anyway, let's get into this story. 2 years after she fatally shot an unarmed Black man that was no threat to her in Tulsa, Betty Jo Shelby, now a police officer in an adjacent county. That's all they do is go from one town to the next. Is teaching a course on how to survive such events. She was never in danger. Legally, emotionally, and physically, the course, as she explained it to a local ABC affiliate, equips officers to withstand the effect, named for the Missouri city convulsed by the 2014 shooting of a Black teenager. When a police officer is victimized by anti-police groups and tried in the court of public opinion. Betty Shelby is not a victim. She never was a victim. Just like many others out here that have shot unarmed Black people were not victims. This woman is not a victim. Betty Shelby, who is white, was tried last year in criminal court, in the Rigg Criminal Court of the United States in Tulsa County. She was acquitted of first-degree manslaughter in the shooting death of Terrence Crusher. But the jury questioned her judgment. You mean the same jury that let her off? And we know what jury that was, the notorious one. You ever notice, ladies and gentlemen, when it comes down to affirmative action, you notice they don't practice that when it comes down to juries in America? The juries are still very segregated. Anyway, let's move on. I just find that fascinating. They always talking about affirmative action, but they sure don't use it in the instance of hiring police. They don't use it in the instance of hiring teachers, and they don't use it in the instance of picking juries. All of a sudden, affirmative action, there's no need for that. Okay. But the jury questioned her judgment as a law enforcement officer if less lethal force had been an option. Serious consideration must be given to whether she be allowed to return to practicing law enforcement. This is a load of bullshit. We know she was allowed to go back, okay? And they had no problem letting her go for something that she really was not in any danger at all. The Tulsa Police Department pulled her from the streets and reassigned her to a desk job. So she was still getting paid. So, these people are full of crap, man. Prompting Shelby to resign. Sitting behind a desk, she explained in a statement, is not for me. Obviously, your judgment as a cop ain't for you either. But let's move on. I did feel like my career was done, she told Tulsa World, of the dispute over the 2016 shooting, which spurred protest and renewed a national debate over race and policing, which is never going away. Now, a new debate is underway in Tulsa, a city scarred by the 1921 Tulsa race riot, a massacre in which white mobs laid waste to a prosperous Black neighborhood. And ladies and gentlemen, every Black town in this country was built by the hands of former slaves and their offspring, and every last one of them were prospering. And that was why these white mobs came in and burnt down over 200 very successful Black towns. See, those towns were debunking everything that they said we couldn't do. They claim we can't take care of ourselves. When those towns were up, they were taking good care of themselves. They had their own schools, they had their own stores, they had their own farms, and they didn't like it. In fact, there are many Black former slaves that became millionaires and did things they couldn't even do. See, you're not supposed to be successful in their rigged up system. They get pissed off about that. So Tulsa is just one example of white mobs going in and burning down a town that was prospering. Okay, they claim we can't take care of ourselves, but when you go all throughout history, we were indeed taking care of ourselves and standing on our own 2 feet. But see, this is the kind of history they try to bury. And then when we talk about separating, what's the first thing out of their mouth? How you gonna feed yourself? Like we never did that before in history. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get out of here with that crap. So let's get further into this. The debate asks, what can be learned from a police-involved shooting? Well, what's supposed to be learned? Okay, what's supposed to be learned? Obviously, not much was learned. You let this woman go back and get into an even higher position, and now she got this little fake out position talking to cops about shooting. Man, woo, this place gotta go, y'all. This place got to go. It's gotta go. It's gotta go. This Babylon gotta go, y'all. Babylon, Egypt, and Sodom and Gomorrah got to go. Shelby is poised to bring her state-approved training course, Surviving the Aftermath of a Critical Incident. Woo, isn't this kind of dramatic and over the top, y'all? Oh my God, this woman was never in no danger when you look at that video. To the city where her own critical incident unfolded. Never was in danger, Betty. Shelby's scheduled appearance Tuesday at a Tulsa County Sheriff's Office has drawn condemnation from local activists, and it should, who argue that the former Tulsa officer should not be imparting advice to law enforcement. And I agree with that, especially not in the community where she killed the 40-year-old motorist and father of 4. She was never in danger. Mark Lewis, the founder of the community organizing and government watchdog group, We the People Oklahoma, said the class newly highlights the injustice of the incident, making the police officer out to be the victim when it was, that's right, it was Terrence who was the real victim, who did not survive the encounter, robbing him of any capacity to describe its fallout. A protest Monday outside the county courthouse condemned Shelby's planned appearance. Sign urge, ban Betty. Good. It's one more indication that Betty Shelby has been rewarded while Terrence and his children are, Terrence is dead and his children are suffering without their father. They don't have anyone going around the state talking about their experiences, and I agree with that. In a statement to a local ABC affiliate, Shelby defended her qualifications to teach the course. She's not qualified to teach it, which she said was not about the shooting, whose details she claims not to be covering. I face many challenges. Who cares? And I was unprepared for such as threats to my life by activist group, to loss of pay, she said. Oh, poor Betty. Somebody go get me a tissue. Get a tissue for Betty, y'all. And play the violins too. My class is to help others by sharing some of the skills I use to cope with the stress of my critical incident. Okay, is this woman a drama queen or what? As law enforcement, we experience many critical incidents through our career. Yeah, but see, you didn't have to face that. You chose to make that incident happen. That man was no threat to you. Again, don't ever forget, she claimed he was reaching in the car for a gun and the windows were up. Never forget that. Betty Shelby is a liar. She said he was reaching for something and the damn car, the windows to the vehicle were up. How you going to reach through the glass for something? She was never in danger. She falsified a police report and lied throughout this whole thing. But see, in America, people like her can get away with all the lies they want to tell. This society is rigged up to always be in her favor. According to a state website, the training, which is certified by the Oklahoma Council on Law Enforcement Education and Training, or CLEAT, will describe some of the challenges in dealing with the aftermath of a critical incident, such as officer-involved shootings. Who is funding this class? That's what I want to know. Who is funding it? Who's sponsoring it? Somebody is funding this class. Participants will be exposed to many of the legal, financial, physical, and emotional challenges, which may result from a critical incident. You know what? They made this stuff up just to make her relevant. The free course lasts for 4 hours, including 2 mental health hours. Yeah, with Betty Shelby teaching it, yeah, 4 wasted hours. Okay, 4 wasted hours for free. The month after she resigned from the Tulsa Police Department, Betty was sworn in as a reserve deputy in Roger County, northeast of Tulsa. Tulsa World reported. She maintained a limited role for several months to make room for planned speaking engagements. According to the Oklahoma newspaper, and assumed full-time patrol duty at the end of last year. Unbelievable. You know, all I see is a bunch of quotes from her, and I'm not interested in hearing nothing Betty Shelby has to say. She is a murderer. She got away with murder, and this rigged up system backs her up. You know, and really that's the whole thing. Like I said, they just made up this position to make her seem relevant. Okay. And the bottom line is, I don't know what advice this woman can give. She needs to go sit down, but you know, even if she kills another person, they'll just shift her over to another county and and act like nothing was wrong, just like they did in this incident. When you watch that video, she was never in danger. Never in danger. Okay, y'all. I'm not going to give Betty no more shine. This is it. Please leave your comment and subscribe. Don't forget to hit on the notification bell and join me on the next video. Peace, family.